Greetings. I'm Thomas Caldwell of the Aurelian Column, and this is the book report. It can be argued that the United States is a second world country. That's not designed to be insulting, that's designed to be accurate. And one of the things that puts it in that category is what is arguably called our healthcare system. Anyone who's ever been to a very developed country, either in Europe or the Far East, knows that nations consider healthcare of its population to be an infrastructure issue. Some systems are better than others. The UK and Canada have something called socialized medicine, which is pretty awful, but many parts of the world, they have a much better system. But that's not the point of this book review. I'm going to just lay that there, though, as the basis of it. The truth is, here in the United States, you have to do a lot of study to take care of your health. And I don't mean just going to the doctor and listening to what the doctor says, because our system is so corrupt, so controlled by pharmaceutical companies or money or insurance. It's a national disgrace. But there are good doctors out there. There are medical professionals that are dedicated to healing people and not just sucking more money out of them. But again, this requires study on the part of each and every one of us, which means reading books. And not just reading books from anybody, finding good books, quality books, written by doctors usually, or scientists, and delving into what's real, what's not. Now, there are many things that are plaguing American society. Obesity, which in the last 50 years has gone from being something that was rare to something that is considered so common it's considered normal. And we found more and more things to be sick from and more things to make us sick. But I'm going to talk about one thing that is in the media often and has been for some years, and that is something called cholesterol. Now, I am not a doctor, and I am not dispensing medical advice. This is a country where you always have to be careful with what you say about anything that has a cartel behind it, and that includes the medical profession. But I have done some research, and I regularly read books on physical health and diet and other such things. And I'm very much into critiquing these because we have more diet books out there than we do people, it seems at times. Cholesterol is a topic that has been pushed on the American public, and it's gone from being something very bad to very good to they're not sure. So it's important to do some study on that. High cholesterol is considered a very big problem in this country, and the pharmaceutical industry has come up with, of course, drugs to treat it, even though very often all that is needed is a change of diet. But one brave doctor did do an in-depth report, which is the best way to describe this book, on cholesterol and the drugs that have been very prolific in our country in recent decades that are aimed at cutting it. The book I'm talking about is The Truth About Statins, Risks and Alternatives to Cholesterol-Lowering Drugs. And it's written by a doctor, a lady who's a cardiologist and is also the director of the Women's Cardiac Center, which is part of Brown University, Barbara H. Roberts. And this is one of the better books I've read that is practical because, well, these days everybody's told that they need anti-cholesterol drugs. So before anyone starts recommending that, it's a good idea to read up on it. Doctors are very often told what to do by medical establishments, and, well, the good Dr. Roberts, it goes into that as well. This is a very dense book, but it's very well put together, very well referenced. It has all sorts of solid data in there by someone who is a cardiologist, a heart doctor, an expert. Not somebody who's read up on the internet, but someone who's done hard science and teaches other doctors about how to keep cholesterol down. Now, when I read this book, I was horrified by what has come out about these drugs. Now, I'm not giving medical advice, But this is a book you should read if somebody has told you your cholesterol is too high and you are at risk of heart disease. It's a very important book to read. What I like about this also is instead of just pointing out how evil the drug industry is, and let's face it, it's a pretty evil institution, the doctor here is very good at offering alternatives, better diet. That's another thing, too, is Americans will continue to go to McDonald's when their arteries are clogged up or some other fast food operation or eat real garbage food. Instead of changing their lifestyle, they decide to just take some very overpriced medication and I think people need to have more medical assistance to their thinking processes than they do their bodies, but that's another argument. What I like about Dr. Roberts' book is she spells everything out in detail. It's very dense reading. It's not something that you can just casually go through, and the book is not padded, if you know what I mean by that. She doesn't use 3 sentences or 4 sentences to explain something that 1 sentence will be very good at explaining. It's a book that does basically flip the whole cholesterol argument up on its head. But this is one of many types of books you're going to have to read these days because our medical profession in this country is so backwards, so corrupt, so messed up that you have to be walking into your doctor's office not with trust, but with information and knowledge. In fact, if you go into a doctor's office, you should be prepared to debate any sort of thing he recommends. Blindly obeying anybody when it comes to your body is a very unhealthy thing. And I've been to doctors in several countries. In some countries, doctors are pretty much worshipped as gods, and if you go in there and question them, they get offended. Which, so what? I mean, it's my body. It's your body. So it's important to learn about it. And these days, there's so much misinformation about cholesterol and how to treat it and how to eat and how to do this. You need to go out and research things. And this is the best book I have found yet on the topic. And I've read a few books on cardiac care and other things as well as, well, all other parts of the body. It's good to learn as much as you can about as much as you can. And the human body and how to keep it healthy is something we should all take an interest in. But if your doctor or healthcare provider has told you you have a cholesterol problem, before you go in and start taking anything, it's best to look at all the information that's out there and understand the short-term and long-term effects as well as the dangers you could, and I underline this, could be facing. Again, the book is The Truth About Statins, Risks and Alternatives to Cholesterol-Lowering Drugs by Barbara H. Roberts. The book came out in 2012. Its publisher is Pocket Books. It's available in Audible for listening on the road. It's available in Kindle, hardcover, and paperback. For some reason, the paperback edition is cheaper than the Kindle edition. Go figure. So you might want to be able to just take the paperback version, use it to refer to recipes, which I understand are quite good, or buy a couple of copies and leave them in doctors' offices and do some guerrilla education. That's always fun. Leaving books in places where they can do some good is a real blessed enterprise in our rather ignorance-filled world. That's it for today. If you appreciate my work, please like, subscribe, and share. Share with your friends and share with your enemies, whether or not they're concerned about their cholesterol. I can be reached at feedback@aureliancolumn.com. That's feedback@aureliancolumn.com. I'm up on X. My handle there is MICCAMPEN. That's MICCAMPEN. This podcast originates at Substack. My handle there is aureliancolumn.substack.com. Until we meet again, be good, be safe, be vigilant, and remember, keep reading and never judge a book by its movie. Good day.